Hey, we're back. This is the second part of my conversation with my mother on her parenting journey. So if you haven't listened to the first part, I would recommend you go back and start there. Thank you so much for the overwhelming response to this conversation. I think you all appreciated just how difficult it can be to have these conversations, let alone record them and have others listen to it. My biggest takeaway from all this is that there's quite a bit to learn from our parents, not only to know them, but to also see your reflection in them. And I know that that can go a long way in forming a deeper relationship. I'm happy to see that a lot of you want to go on this journey with your mom, which is something I highly recommend. If you want to do this, I would suggest buying this journal from HiiStory Yetu. That's HiiStory Yetu. The authors, Ciku and Jane, have done a fantastic job at creating a journal that will enable you to go through your mother's life and really understand the woman that she is. You can buy the book through the link that I will add at some point in the show notes or through their page on Instagram. I will leave the details down below. And when you do that, don't forget to mention my name, as it will help support the podcast. Thank you in advance. This is the 7th episode of Mama Tales Season 3. I'm your host, Sally Kuria. So this second part covers the rest of our conversation. In it, she shares similarities that she thinks we shared in our childhood, points in which I filled her with pride, and those that I disappointed her. The second part also features a lot of stories about my dad, which, to be honest, was quite difficult for me to go through as they filled me with so many different emotions. I actually broke down one morning after a night of editing because grief came rushing in. It was really interesting to understand just how they worked together during our upbringing. Anyway, I'm excited to share this second part of the episode with you. So let's dive right in. Oh, quick note. Listen to the very end of the episode because I have a very special announcement. We'll just go to the next question, which is, were there any similarities between me as a child and you as a child that you can think of?
One thing I didn't know my childhood. I don't know my childhood. My grandmother nikukupikia chakula yako kama nikikwambia you used to do this, you used to do this. I thought I was too busy. Her hands were full. Even notice you as you're growing. So the only thing I get to know when I was now old enough, you see the way I used to wake up, go to church. I'm a Sunday school teacher, and then you just came in and took charge of your age mates. I'm like, I have another teacher in my house. It's like me. And you took charge of the brigade again. I'm like, oh, this is happening. And those are the things I saw you. I said, we have something in common there. And you embraced the Sunday school like your own. And when the brigade came up, you embraced it again and you walked the journey with them. And that same way again, another similarity I saw in you is you're very keen in what is happening around you. Very keen, I mean, like, and wanted to know. There's nothing that will bypass you without asking. Even I remember one time I told you, what did I tell you? And then you asked me, what will happen? Oh, there's a question you're asking, kutafanyika nini nisipofanya? And then you put me in a class to start teaching me the benefits of doing that action. And once you got convinced, and you do it. Like I remember one time I told you, oh yeah, I used to tell you to come to the kitchen with me, learn how to cook. As I'm not bringing up people's husbands, I'm bringing up people's wives. Do you remember that statement? And you're like, must I be your wife? Or must I be your wife? I can't be anything else, you know. So I teach you the generation how you are born, you grow from this stage, you expected to grow, you move from this stage, you become a youth, you move from the youth, you become a young adult, and a young adult gets a partner, she gets married, you start a home of your own. So I have to prepare you for the stages ahead. Are you getting me? But that one gave you a lot of some encouragement. You want now for me to succeed in that stage in life, I must know how to cook. And you started now developing the interest. Yeah, you said, but you see, you took me through an explanation why you have to know how to cook. I had to take you from zero to the age of about 25 and explain it. And that is the same thing I said. Even me, I used to be like that because you cannot just come and tell me do something and you're not explaining why I'm doing it. What benefit does it have to me for me to do it? Again, you are very obedient. Those are some similarities with me, and that obedience maybe is one that made me, despite the fact that I was brought up by my grandma, it gave me a good foundation of life. Wherever I have lived, any part I've lived of life, I have learned to respect people. I've learned to be obedient, and I have learned to give. Those are the things now. Even you are like, when I am doing like charitable work, you want to follow me and see what is this charity that I'm doing. You even want to participate in that. There's benefit in doing good. And you really, really walk the journey. When you found something is good, you loved doing it. When you found something is not good, you kept off like lightning. You never even want to associate with that thing. And that was me when I was growing up. Those are some of the characteristics that I can say we have in common.
You weren't, and it makes sense. There were many children that you grew up with, so it's very hard for your grandmother to have told you that, it's not like the way now with me and Keo. They're the only ones I see every day. So I can be very laser focused, but
At any time, we were 7 kids in that house. When you get measles, you all get sick, and she doesn't know which one to take to hospital and leave which one. One time we were carried in, my grandpa put us in a carton. He had a bicycle. He had a bicycle that had a basket in front there and a basket. So he put a carton inside. He put like two turkeys in front there and another three behind there. He cannot now ride the bike. He has to push the bike all the way to Sagana from Kagio. It's a journey because that's where the missionary hospital used to be near Sagana Technique. So imagine riding from Kandongo, from our home all the way to Sagana, take those kids. And once measles comes, it hits everybody. As soon as we recovered from measles, we got sick of chicken pox. Proceed. So the similarities we have, and then I'm normally very pleasant. I'm easy to get along with. And then you are, as much as you're normally very cautious, once you get like somebody, you go full house. You do not leave your heart. And you appreciate people within their own limits. And you're like, okay, you cannot change her. The best you can do is do the best for her. And that one, being that kind of a person also helped me with my work easy when I was bringing up Shiro because you are the in between me and Shiro because Shiro again was very, very vibrant, aggressive in life. She would, uh, she would tell you she's in point A while actually she's in Z. So, and you are there in between and you are like, let me, don't bother, let me go look for her, let me do this for her. Leave Shiro alone, I will do it. Are you seeing what you're doing? It's because you do not want to see me being hurt. So you're coming in. You used to come in to save my Shiro's neck from me and face the wrath that instead. Same way I remember I did that for my brother, my sibling. Here we were seven. And one of them stole sugar at night. Children in the long days they used to like stealing the sugar, just eating it. So Grandma goes to the tin where she used to keep the sugar, and she's like, "Who ate the sugar?" And I knew not who had eaten. It was Baba Dan, my younger brother. And I knew he's going to be beaten like hell. So my grandma called all of us, summoned us, and she can see sugar on my brother's lips. And I'm there saying, I'm the one who ate. Yes. At what time did you eat the sugar? You have just come from school. The sugar was eaten. Anyway, she knew I was saying that to save my brother. So she did because she wanted to give us a warning. But I'm just saying how you stand in the gap to protect somebody from trouble. We've done it before. Women, remember one time I wanted to beat her to hit her with the slipper. I don't know what she had done. And you're like, Mommy, you're going to kill her. If, don't beat her again, beat me instead. And I'm like, how do I beat you for a mistake you didn't do? Well, definitely, you're not going to beat anybody. Because you, for one thing, Sally, I can tell you, I don't remember any day I lifted even a slipper on you. Because you always love doing the right thing and you always fear doing the wrong thing. And you always are at the right place at the right time. But Chiro was always at the wrong place at the wrong time. So you are here telling me to take the punishment on our behalf. I'm like, how? So definitely, I wasn't going to punish.
What was the most difficult season for you and dad when you were raising us?
The most difficult part was when Dad first of all lost his first job, and I had just taken a mortgage, and we really had to struggle to feed because the salary was not enough now. One person's salary was not enough to pay the bills and everything. I remember I had to move you to a city council school from private school. There's a time you remember you asked me, Mommy, how many primary schools am I going to be in? I used to move you when I have money, you go to a good school. When I get poor, I adjust to my poverty. And you remember I took you to Unity Primary in Umoja. Those were the time we were going through financial strains until yeah, those are the most difficult. And then dad gets a job and he has to work from far away from us again. Now I am like a single parent. And that's when now I relied so much on relatives who used to come and live with us because sometimes I could not even afford a house girl. As much as it's very difficult when you're keeping relatives in the house, I had no choice because I needed their help. So most of the time you'd never stay without somebody coming to live with us. Those are some of the reasons why I was bringing people because sometimes one of my cousin is free. She's cleared school. She wants just to come and see whether she can get to do something to do in Nairobi. And I'm very quick to invite them in the house because I knew my children will be safe by then. I don't have to employ a house girl. Though they failed me a lot because not everyone who can handle your child the way you can handle. And then again, you cannot discipline this person is your relative. And the best you can do is just to send them out of your house, which is very painful when you're doing it to a blood person, related person. So it's not the way you'd wake up an employee misbehaves and you can take any action. But when it comes now, you're dealing with relatives is normally very difficult because one thing huyu mtu anakaa kama anakudharau. They leak so much of your information outside. There are some things in your family you do not want people talking about in the corridors, and you wonder how did this information reach home? Yet you have concealed your home. It interferes a lot with your privacy, actually. and your marriage is not an open book where everybody wants to read. But once you bring relatives to stay in the house, it has its own benefits and it has its own disadvantages. One of the disadvantage was that, and again, my children not having space even in the house. They don't have something they can say this is ours or this is mine because everybody wants to occupy everything. So it was very challenging actually.
How would you describe me to other people? How do you describe me to people?
Hey, Sally, it's a big question, eh? Now that I know you, I would describe you better than that. But I used to tell people because they used to ask me, hey, Mugore ni kama baba yake. She just keeps quiet, she doesn't talk to people. I told them, she will talk to you when she's ready to talk. Leave her alone. And you used to lock yourself in the room all the time, especially when there is a third party in that house. You would not leave your room at all, at all. And they're like, oh, she's just like the dad. Even Kuria used to lock himself up when some days my mother-in-law told me she forgot to give him food because she thought she had served everybody. Only to realize that he was hiding in the room reading in a quiet place. He was reading for his CPA exams. And the mother served, she forgot there is a baby that has not eaten. And she said, with Sally, you cannot forget her because you'll only see her out of her room when she's going to look for food. Food was her favorite. In your childhood, there's one incident I remember to date. You used to refuse to eat. You used to refuse to eat food, and daddy told me, tafadhali nisikawai kuta unachapa mtoto juu ya chakula. This is a human being, she will definitely get hungry at one time or another. And she'll look for the food herself. So I'm like, what time will she look for the food? Hi. When you are 3 years and a half, then I remember like yesterday. So I had a house girl who used Sunday, she cannot work even a day, even cook for us tea. She has to go to church from 6 to 6 in the evening. And Sally woke up, realized the house girl is not there. Mom and dad are still sleeping. Used to sleep with the house girl in her room. And you walked to the fridge. You saw her packing the rice there. Opened the fridge, took the bowl of white rice, sat down just near the kuenda mbali na fridge. Ulikaa tu hapo chini. And you ate the rice, the white rice, I remember, with your hands. So when I woke up, I'm like, why is the baby so quiet today? I went to your room, you are not there. I told dad, I cannot see house girl and I cannot see the baby. Then I heard somebody chewing. I'm like, I went to the kitchen and you are there eating the rice cold. When I told dad, he said, I told you she was going to be hungry and she knew where the food is. So you, as far as food is concerned, is not a question. So they used to feel like you are snobbing them. But I told them, Sally, once she has to learn you to even open up, even be free with you. So just give her time to know you. Yeah.
Are there any points you've ever felt disappointed by me? And how did you deal with those?
Ah, Sally, you're supposed to go out of the country. Dad wanted to take you to France. You refused. Yes, you said, if it's a university, mimi nasomea huku, sisomei nje. You said no, we want to do it in Kenya. And I knew this is a time now, one of my child is going outside the country. But I don't know, you felt like we are throwing you away from home. And she's like, how will I be seeing you people? Does that mean I am going to be away from you people? And there's a course, he had just come from France, Alcatel University. And he wanted you to go there. And you said, But Dad, it cannot be done here in Kenya. So me, I woke up and I left you discussing, and that's how the issue of Strathmore came in. Your idea was not to leave home. You have the fear of unknown. There, I don't know I don't know anybody. How am I going to survive on my own? How am I going to survive without you people? You feel like if we are moving, we are all moving, all of us. Obviously, it's not possible. I tried convincing. Because this one has refused an opportunity, man. Huh? But I always say there's a reason to everything. That time you're very rigid about anything that will get you out of home, away from your dad especially. That's the only time I was disappointed, but otherwise I've not had an issue. Bringing you up was one of my easiest duty.
Is there a particular point where you are very proud of me?
Hey, walking you down the aisle. That smile, I will never get it anywhere else. I felt very honored. It was my victory actually. This is a kind of a child. This is the prayers I had for my child. She has done what I didn't do. You walked down the aisle when you were a girl. Me, I walked down the aisle when I was a woman with two babies. And I felt this was my victory. I say, this is what I've been praying for my child. Unfortunately, dad was not there to see it a fulfillment. To it, I felt to date, I feel there's a joy in me that was on that day that it will never be compared to anything. And thank you so much, my child.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a really, yeah, I felt it too. It was a very proud moment, considering the fact that I had said that I will walk down the aisle with my father only.
In fact, you had said I will not be part and parcel of that.
Yeah, I was like, no, it will just be dad, but well, the universe worked in mysterious ways and you found yourself there. And I think I'm very curious to know the answer to this question because I think maybe we don't do it right. But what makes you feel loved and appreciated by your children? Maybe might be something we don't do and we should probably be doing.
uh, First and foremost, I know you people love me. And that one you do not beat around. And one thing I knew you love me is when anybody try to talk anything negative about me. You defend me like mother hen. You are like one person that is our mother we are very proud of, and nobody will tell us of anything. And were it not for your love, maybe even after dad went to be with the Lord, I would have faced very major challenges of life. But you made me feel like I feel protected by you people. You make me feel you have my back. And that is why any decisions I make in life, I consult you first. You don't hear it from anybody. I consult my children. You agree with that? And if I feel you did not like the idea, I find a way of abandoning that idea that mission once and for all. Because if there is anyone I would hate not to love me, are you, my babies? And the only time I feel like I am on your way now that you've grown up and you're all running your own different lives, following your dreams of life, I feel like I am being abandoned slowly by slowly. And I'm like, Sally used to call me like every other day. Now she calls me after even 4 days, 5 days. What has changed? She wrote the same. And then I start sending those to question marks. It's like, are you for real? But love wise, I have never doubted your love for me. For me, you and Shiro have been the best children God ever gave me, and you have always supported my dreams. It's very important to have children who support you as a mother, and that's why my leadership in that home has been very to the right direction. Because if I was not being supported by you people, I would break very easily. But you agree with me, as much as Dad left us, nothing has changed. If things have even become better, we have become more united. We have become a family where we want to make him proud. We always have him as at the head of the home, thinking, is this what he would have liked of me in life? Is this what he would have liked of his children, of his grandchildren? We always have a space for him. And that is one thing that has held us together. We may not be very perfect, and no family is perfect, but we have always tried to perfect each other to make our life more easy for one another. Yeah, that is one thing I think I'm proud of. Yeah.
Is there anything you wish you knew earlier about parenting, or something that you could have done differently?
Parenting in our era was not very easy like it is today, because today you people have technology. I see when I follow your podcast, I see how you have even a way you can train a child when to eat, when to sleep, when to drink water, when to. Our time it was bora kaive. You're hungry, eat. You don't want to sleep the whole night. Too bad. We sit all of us. You're the whole night carrying the baby. You know, if that if life was better then, especially when it was for that time of young babies and everything, even the technology was not friendly to us. We had to fight it through our own way, and every parent had their own style of bringing up their children. Dad and I tried our best to give you people the best we had. We worked towards making you happy, but there's a mistake. Maybe by then we did like wanted to dictate who you become in life, who you associate with, because we don't want you to follow. We feel like you walking with so and so, you behave like how you like him. So we are there telling you you cannot, but we are not giving you reasons why you should not do such a thing. We are here telling you no, you cannot be a doctor, and you're not giving somebody a reason why she should not be a doctor. So parents of our time, we had issues of liking to dominate the lives of our children, and that is why most of them have become rebellious. Instead of giving a child guidance, we were stamping it on them. You cannot go to church. You have to go to church. You have to do this. Yani, my doctrines, I want to plant them through you, through the head by force. So you find that, fine, I will do. And you ask, why are you going to church? My mother told me I must be going. But you see, I did not give you a choice to choose. Why did you have to go to Green Garden School? My mother told me to go to a boarding school. So back then, it was what worked for me, not what worked for you. If only I knew that it had an impact. Some of it comes out better, the other one comes out the wrong way. But by the time I take the blame that it is me who led to that, to Sally doing the way she's doing, to Stacy doing what she's doing, I just felt like Sally is just a rebellious child. Stacy is just a rebellious child. Amekataa kunisikiza na ni lazima ajue I am the mother. She has to do it. But I'm not giving a listening here. So if I was to go back to parenting today, I would love to give a listening ear to my child. Listen to her reasoning. Then you reason together. The only thing as a parent you're supposed to give is guidance, but not direction. Give a guidance. Okay, you have chosen to eat sausages. These are the implications. You have chosen to go to boarding school. These are the advantages and disadvantages. Make a choice from there. But don't make choices for the children. The issue of the choices children, the decisions and choices children keep, in our time, it was not a question of discussing, which was a mistake again on our end as parents of then, because I have seen it having a bad repercussion and it messing a child's life. I remember there is one time a colleague of mine wanted the son to go and do a certain course in the university, and the guy was like, "No, that's not what I want to do." So he told him, "Fine, I have no problem. I will go and do that course you want." I know the father was working as a banker and he wanted this child to go and do Bachelor of Economics something, because he knows as soon as he finishes, he can get him a job in the banks. But the guy wanted to do that time. IT was a language that people didn't understand. Computer, utapata kazi wapi ya computers? But they didn't know that is the world that we are in now, that was coming. The young people have already seen and they are discussing among themselves and they know the way to go. The future holds, this is where the future is. But me, I am seeing I'm a teacher. I want to be my child to be a teacher. I'm a banker. I want my child, like the time I was telling to you the idea of you becoming a banker, and you told me, Mom, that is out of question. You remember I told you that? And you told me point blank, you didn't beat around the bush. So if I also felt like, why doesn't my child want to be a banker like me? And the way she's very good in the sciences, the way she's doing well in maths. Eh? So I even wanted to enroll you at, what do you call this place? The Apple Waraka, to go and do maths. The one next to this KCA, you do accounts. Eh? Naambia mam, hata mahesabu nilipita kwa kupenda kwa Mungu. Wachana na mimi. So I was coming, I'm looking for ways of how I want you to eventually become a banker like me. But now, parents of then, we were like, you have not even justified why you are a banker in the first place, and you want your child to be, you need to at least justify some things. So those are the things. We parents by then, if only we knew better than today, we maybe would have brought up better children. People who are focused, people who are not just robots. They do things because they are told, but they are doing things so they love doing and things they will come. So this guy I was telling you, when he graduated that economics, he actually got first class honors. And when we went for the graduation day, you know what he did? He took that certificate and he took it to his father. Daddy, thank you so much. This degree is yours actually. Mine has not started. Give the father the degree. I told him, that is yours. Now I'm going back to do law because that's what I've always wanted to do. And the father was, imagine my son is going back to the university. Another law is not cheap, eh? Wacha mangumi ipite na watu hapo. So I'm trying to tell you is it's not fair to enforce your style of life to your children on someone. Let them learn and copy, but don't have an impact in that. Don't have an input in that. Yeah.
Last question. I'll ask you one last question because I don't think we can finish all of them. There are many. What are some things that you still worry about as a parent of adult children?
Uh, the young parents that we are seeing in the social media, you people, you are bringing up your children in the social media. When they say jump, you jump. My worry is this parenting you're doing, there's so much technology in it that at the end of the day, unless you're very keen as a mother or as a father, you're going to lose your children. The bond between you and your children is going to run away, because you have walked in the house. Keo is on that side with her tablet. Tayo is in the other room with his tablet. You are doing your podcast thing. Brody is doing his work or whatever he's doing, or playing his football on. So that home is no warm. So you have to be very, very careful about technology. As much as it's making your work, you people easy, it should not replace your bond. It should not replace your time for your children, for each other as a family. Provide time for your babies. Provide time for yourselves. Be the parents that child want. That one day you remember there is no day, Sally, you went to school and I failed to be there for any meetings. There is no day I was bringing up you people, I failed to be there when you're having your meals, especially dinner. I gave you all the time I had. Dad the same. But the problem with my fear for this current parenting, there is a lot of influence of the technology that you think, even cooking, put Ninja. There's a machine called Ninja. It cooks everything. The smart pot, that one. It cooks everything. But your husband wants to see you walk the journey of cutting an onion, cutting and kitungu, as you are crying the tears. Oh, she's crying tears cooking for me. You create some, what do you call it? You create some desire for that. Anyone going to eat that food will appreciate that food because it was given a lot of attention. But Ninja takes 10 minutes to put machakula kwa meza. So you current parents, and again, learn to keep the right friends. Learn to keep friends to borrow you'd want even your children to associate with. When they look at those parents, you say, I respect Mama so and so. I respect Mama. You look back and see. There are those friends you saw when I was bringing you up. They are still part of my life. And you've never stopped respecting them. Those are the kind of parenting I would advise people to keep. Not the parents who just want to meet to drink while the children are playing so that you can have your good time, and you're drinking in front of those children. They are seeing all the dirty language you're talking, all the things. The children have been put in, bumped up all together in a bouncing castle. Have fun while we have our fun here. It is in our era, you could not see those things. If we are going, we go as a family, we sit, eat together, go home. If I want my good time with my husband, there's a day for it. But don't put too much, don't too much, release so much of your energies to the technology. Be aggressive in being that virtuous wife, that virtuous mother to that child, that she can emulate. What can Kyo see in you? The things I see in your podcast, Kyo going to the kitchen and giving you the onion because she knew you need an onion, giving you garlic because she know what you're cooking will require garlic. Those things make me feel very proud. I said, why didn't I do this when I started introducing you to the kitchen when you were inside at 7 or 6? Why didn't I do when you were in kindergarten early enough? Because there are some virtues that you're instilling in this child that she will grow knowing that this food did not fly from the kitchen to the table. It was actually prepared and cooked. Those are the virtues I wish young mothers and young fathers, and work as a team. Raising the children is not a woman's job alone. It is for both of you. While you are in the kitchen cooking, he's babysitting. When the food is ready, he's feeding one. He can be feeding one, you feed the other. He can be, they finish eating. Let's now, mommy has cooked. Let us all go to the kitchen and clean up. You get what I mean? Come up with an activity that keeps the family together. That's those children will grow knowing that is an activity we do as a family. You see, and they look forward to that day. I used to see you people looking forward to the day Sunday when Dad used to be in the kitchen cooking for us.
Oh, he used to cook on Sundays.
Yeah, dad was cooking on Sundays. Ukumbuki ile nyama ya kasarani?
Oh, Kasarani. I remember Kasarani. So Kasarani was, Ebu just describe what Kasarani was.
You're even the one who used to name. You're the one who gave it that name. I don't know you.
Why did they call it Kasarani?
That name came from me. I don't know. It's new you had heard from dad or something. Yes, big warus with the beef, with the nyama, and the cabbage that are not cut. And you don't serve your own plate. You feed from the tray. So let let your children have something to look forward to. It can come up with mama's day in the kitchen, daddy's day in the kitchen. Compete. Who comes out? Give those children um, something they can be proud of. When they look at you, they don't just see a mother, they see a very good cook, they see a very good, well organized lady. The proud mama I am and the proud grandma. How are my grandchildren? And those are the children. There is one thing when I was looking at Thai walking, and I said, one day I'll come home and find him at the gate, opening the gate for me, a big man. And I'm like, let that time be very soon. Uh, because I'm proud to be a grandmother to Thayo and Keo and many, many more to come. As my grandchildren, when I was thinking about this podcast, I said this is the time I would like to tell them something, because I may not, when they grow, they will remember that grandma said these words, and they will help them grow. They know that they are valued and they are loved. And I have seen that love in you and your husband, how you give them all your time, and the way you are there for their any cry or their any laughter or their any big step in life. And that is the love that is going to unite you people. And as they grow up, surely they shall reciprocate that love to you. And to me, I love them so much. Another day I went to a store, and the only thing I'm seeing nowadays, I don't even see my clothes. I see Dayos and Chaos. Were it not that you told me to stop buying clothes now, the wardrobes are full. Anytime I hear somebody coming home, I tell her I have a suitcase. And I said, this time I am quiet. We give them time to grow. That is how much I love those children. Again, I would like them to know that it's never too late to learn anything. You're never too young or too old to learn anything. Anytime is a learning process. Every day you go learning something new. So let them be very ready to learn. I have seen how the aggressive Keo is. She wants to learn even to do things on her own. She wants her independence. And that is one thing I am proud and saying this is a girl who is ready to learn, who is ready to face it head on. Again, I would like to tell my grandchildren, even when they grow up, they should not be afraid of making any mistakes, because it is through making mistakes in life that you are able to become a better person, because you'll never repeat that mistake again. But if you fear doing a mistake, you will never learn the implication of that mistake. And don't be embarrassed and you say, oh, because I fell down, I want to continue lying down here. No, wake up, dust yourself, and move, because you become a better person every day. So, my grandchildren, they should know that they should not be afraid of doing the wrong things. They should be very proud when they have done a mistake and they are able to come out of that place better than they came in. And they should know that grandpa loves them so much. His spirit is still hanging on there, and is proud of what his children have become, and to top it up, give us very wonderful grandchildren. And they can always count on me. I'm only a phone call away. And that part of that thing of disappointing me, there's a day again you disappointed me. I had forgotten. And this one I have to tell you, because you know
What did I do?
when you moved out of the house and went to stay alone, and you want to grow up, no longer You did realize I even ran away. I went to Shags. So that when you come and I come, then I went away because I didn't want to see you leaving the house. I was felt so disappointed. I'm like, now when I've just gotten a big home for these children, they are all leaving me now here. What am I supposed to be doing in this big house alone? Huh? Why is she going to rent a house while she has a whole self-contained bedroom to herself? Eh? It was a step that I really did not see it coming. That one, no, you caught me off guard.
Yeah. As you do always catch
I
me
do
off
that.
guard. So we are the same. Huh? We're out there washing dishes, and then all of a sudden, so I retired. I'm like, what? And I'm going to America in a month. I'm like, what are you talking about? Same thing. Same thing then. So let's say it was equal.
That one, that one, you caught me off guard. And I did not see where you're going. The questions were too many than answers.
When did you accept that I left?
I took me time. I kept on waiting for you to come back. Instead of coming back, you came saying I'm now getting married. And I knew my daughter's bedroom. She is gone. That's when I had to allow somebody else to use it now because I kept on saying Sally is coming back. Eh? Coming home to say, instead of saying you're coming back, you're coming telling now I have decided to take the next stage of life. I'm like, yeah. Then I told you, why don't you come and stay back here as you prepare? I said, no, I am okay out there. Huh? Anyway, those are good moves in life. Yeah. I'm proud of you, Mama.
Thanks, Mama. Me too. I'm proud of you. You also do very big things. And even again, doing this episode with me, I am so honored. Thank you so much, Mom.
Have I ever failed you as a mother?
No. You've left me questioning questions, but you've never failed me.
Uh,
Usually just like what has happened, but you've
uh,
never but you've never failed. But it's good to know, like now I've learned so much about, I didn't, I talked to a lot of moms going through a lot of these problems, but it didn't even cross my head that my mom went through the same things. So
yeah.
I have definitely learned quite a bit.
And many things you're also going to learn as now a married mother, wife, and a mother. There are so many things women go through in marriages, and they still want to wear a smiling face for the sake of the children not to notice there is fire in the house. Many other times when I go to my bedroom and we have differed with my husband, I would come out smiling because I do not want you and Shiro to notice. These two guys are not happy. So a woman will always wear a face, but deep inside, she's burning like fire. But it saved a lot of. It gave some sanity in that. You do it for the sanity of the home, and you do it because you don't want to destabilize. Because these children do not know another place. This is the home they know. You can wake up and go to your mother's place. These children don't know anywhere else. This is their home. Can you give them the comfort they need? Can you protect them from any external forces? Because that is their shelter, and it has to be made very comfortable for them to stay. So those are the things women, the mothers, have to hold tight. Even when you feel like, for example, there's a time dad was not providing because he didn't have anything financially, and I was still in the bank job. I would give him the money so that he can give you, so that you can continue having the respect you have for him as a provider. You get. But you want to make sure that these children know that I want an ice cream. Dad must enter in his pocket and find a 10 bob to buy ice cream for that child. So you go behind, you make sure in his trouser there's a 20 bob note sitting there in case the child asks for something. He doesn't have to look back and or even answer the child, I don't have. So I'm giving on, those are just but a few examples. So you as the current mothers, parenting is not easy, especially for women. Because you want to be the wife your husband wants, and you want to be the mother your children want. So those two tasks go together like that. And you must not fail in either of them. So in the process, you fail yourself.
Did you ever feel like you found a balance? Like you are a good wife, a great mother, and you're also taking care of yourself?
Much later is when now I had to come to look for a balance. But initially, I was always the loser in the whole thing. My children would win on this side, and my husband would win, and me, I'm left there nursing my emotions. Yeah.
I want to thank my mother, Hannah, for doing this with me. I really didn't have to convince her much for being part of this podcast, because a big part of her always wants to support me. But I know a bigger part of it was her finally finding a way to bring me into her world. Mama, I love you, and I cannot wait to do this with you again. Another special thanks goes to Ciku and Jane for making this book a thing. I cannot talk enough about it. And I urge you all to buy a copy if you want to embark on this journey with your mother. Doesn't need to be now. Remember, it will possibly be hard, but nothing impactful is ever easy. In fact, you might be surprised by how much you will laugh and appreciate each other after this. So, I promised a special announcement. Here it is. I will be giving away copies of this book to 2 individuals through a giveaway. For details on how to enter the giveaway, please make sure to follow my Instagram page at Mama Tales Podcast, as well as my personal one at Sally Mugure. That's SALLYMUGURE. Terms of the giveaway will be posted there in the coming week, so look out for that. One last thing, I will be taking a little break from producing this podcast. To be honest, I'm beat. This month has just been a lot, and I think it's only smart for me to take a bit of a breather before we go on with the season. But once that break is over, be sure to expect some amazing stories coming your way. I should still be active on social media and the newsletter, so do watch out for those. Catch you in a little bit. Bye.